All right, so we're back. This is part 2 of the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 review. You're listening again to the Hardcore Geek Podcast right here on the Hardcore Geek Network. We left off at the end, Rocket crying, fade to black. We go to the end credit scenes. Before we get into the end credit scenes, I want to talk about the importance of the soundtrack. And this is something that's like been real big since the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, to this day, I still listen to Awesome Mix Volume 1.
Oh, yeah. It's on my phone. Which
is wonderful. They did a real good job with the song choices in this one, too.
They did.
I love the George Harrison song. Mm-hmm. They got the Mr. Blue Sky from the beginning of the movie. Obviously, Father and Son, which is a callback. Or, really kind of gets you choked. I'm real close with my dad, so it kind of gets me like...
Right.
Just listening to that song, you know?
It's just a good song.
Yeah. I love the chain from Fleetwood Mac. Like, when and obviously it was in the trailer, but it's definitely they picked a lot of really good stuff for this, and there's a lot of stuff that may not have made it into the actual movie itself. What do you think, like, does that add a lot to the movie?
I think so, yeah. I think a good soundtrack is really, like, dire to a good movie, because you can... Like, I have it on my phone. That song comes on. It takes me to that moment in the movie. Yeah. Like, every time I hear Ain't No Mountain High Enough, I think of Guardians 1.
Yeah.
Like, it correlates. So I think a good soundtrack makes for a good movie.
Exactly. And it's like a perfect blend of, like, a little bit of Motown, a little bit of classic 80s, 70s rock.
And see, we grew up with that. So I think it's greater for us because we're like, oh, this is our jams from when we were babies. Like,
and the fact that, like, that's all Peter knows.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: what the hell do you think is on that Zune?
Because there's like 3,000 songs on there. So I'm curious as to what Yondu put on there.
So is Peter listening to like Tupac, or is he listening to like?
Yeah, like what's he got? I'm hoping that there's some Tupac.
I hope there's no Limp Bizkit on there because
I hope not.
That would be the worst.
But Yondu looks like he might like that kind of metal. Like, he got the jacked up teeth. He wears the fin. He might be into that kind of metal. Like, although he did put Father and Son.
Or is he listening to, like, some Britney Spears on there, you know?
Oh, my gosh, Hit Me Baby One More Time.
That'd be funny. Speaking of pop stars, did you know Miley Cyrus is in this movie?
I did. She's Mainframe.
She is Mainframe.
She had all of 2 lines.
That did not I didn't catch it.
Because it doesn't sound like her.
No, it's so crazy. And she's uncredited in there.
Yeah, she's not. Yeah, and that only came out like 2 weeks ago, I want to say. Yeah,
I remember reading it like the week of, and I'm like, okay, let me see if we can spot. I'm thinking maybe she'd just be like a real quick cameo in the background and stuff like that. But
yeah, because her characters are like just ahead, so
yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah.
So I missed it. I'll have to see it when I go back and watch it.
I'm really hoping. Oh, we're not talking about end credits yet. Never mind.
No, let's dive right into it.
Oh, okay. So the end credit with the original Guardians, like Starhawk and Mainframe,
so like
and
with Starhawk
and all them
getting the group back together. Now, do you think that those are the original Guardians, or do you think it's...
No, they are. Well,
I mean, in this universe, I know in the comic book those are.
Speaking of
like
this
freaking
universe,
Ving Rhames is in it. It's like,
yeah, he's number 27.
Fuck? Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, like what?
You were in the movie for all but 2 seconds.
Yeah. The funny thing, and I'm gonna admit, like I'm dumb. I didn't know this. I didn't realize that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is technically its own universe now.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea until I was reading something, and because people were mad about the original Guardians and then this Guardians, and someone was like, "Well, this isn't even the comic book universe. It's Earth."
There's so many different versions.
Blah blah blah,
of the
and
Guardians,
I was like,
though.
"Oh."
There's different teams. There's different, just like there's different versions of the X-Men. There's different versions of the Avengers.
Right, and I know, I know that there's like different Earths and stuff like that through the comic books, but I didn't like. And I guess it makes sense that since everything isn't lining up with the comic books per se, that it is its own version, and I like that. And at the same time, I'm like, no, that's not how the comics went. It needs to go this way.
Yeah, and you're going to get that with anything, though. Like, you go back to, like, things like Twilight, where they're like, well, that wasn't exactly how it was in the book, or like Hunger Games or stuff like Harry Potter. Yeah, you have your source material, but then you also got to make it your own.
Right, it's interpretation.
So, some people are going to be, they're only going to know the stuff from the movies. Mm-hmm. Some people, be kind of like myself, or, I'm going to know the stuff from the movies. I'm going to read a little, there's so much stuff to read.
Oh, yeah.
And I got a big boy job, and I can't do that all the time. I collect my comic books, but for me to kind of go back and be like
try to read the 1970 comics, like it's impossible almost at this point.
There's no way. So, you appreciate the past, and then you embrace what they're doing now, which is great, and just live with it. I guess. I don't know. I did like that little.
I liked that, and that's actually why I think, like, maybe they can bring Yondu back.
How's that?
Because they're time travelers, the Guardians.
Well, and then you also have Doctor Strange, who has that time stone.
Yeah, and did you notice that one of the Ravagers, one of the originals, was making the signs like Doctor Strange when he made the thumbs up?
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, he's an animated, not animated, it's CGI, but he's some kind of weird red alien creature.
I have to go back and watch this again.
And when they were talking about bringing back the team together, he makes like the little hand gestures and he makes thumbs up, and it's got the red background behind it, just like Doctor Strange.
Would that cheapen it though? If they bring Yondu back, would that cheapen the whole the impact of?
I don't know.
I mean, the kid in me, I want Yondu back.
I want Yondu back.
But it's the movie, if I don't want to call myself an aficionado, but the movie buff in myself is you kind of got to leave some things how they are, Like the whole Coulson thing, it's okay, they could have left him,
No.
I know you like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm going to attempt to watch it.
No, I just love Coulson.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Because I actually, sidebar, after I watched Guardians 2, I was like, you know what? That's it. I'm going back. I'm starting at phase 1, and I'm just going through it.
You know what we have to do, right?
What?
You, myself, Joe, Hammer. We need to do it in order. We need to
Oh, that's what I'm doing.
We need to take off a couple days, do a long weekend.
It's not even a couple days.
How long did you calculate? If
well,
we start
do you mean just the movies?
I'm talking just the movies, because if we did Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the one shots. The one shots you could probably do, but if you
and Agent Carter,
yeah, there's no way.
And all the Netflix ones, because it all ties in.
I've watched the Netflix ones, but I don't know in what order.
It all ties in. I actually found it's on my tablet, which is at home.
Again, sidebar, how excited are you for Defenders?
I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't watched any of the Netflix stuff.
Have you watched Daredevil?
Nope.
Oh, wow. Okay. You need to.
It makes me nervous. I've heard good things about it.
Oh, they're excellent.
But I haven't gotten on board with those yet. But now that I am, I started with Iron Man, and I just started going through.
So you're doing it in the order that they came out. Are you doing it in the... I'm talking about doing it in the order, you start at
with
First
Captain
Avenger,
America,
and then you move into, shit that's going on at the same time. You bounce all around.
See, and that's
That's what I want to do.
So my original thought was I wanted to do it in order. But then, I was dumb, and I didn't do Captain America until after I watched Thor.
Yeah.
Because technically that movie is present time. It just flashes back. It's the whole movie's a fucking flashback, basically.
First Avenger.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I watched it, and I was like, man, I really should have watched this one first. But now I'm going through and I'm watching Agent Carter. And then once I'm done with Agent Carter, then I'll come back and watch the first Avengers.
Okay. I'm thinking I'm going to try to do the impossible. I'm going to try to watch everything.
I'm going to.
I'm talking in order.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the movies. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do Agent Carter. I'm going to do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the one-shots, and I'll try to watch
That's what I'm doing.
Netflix.
That's what I've started.
There's going to be an imprint of me in this couch.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to have to watch it, at the gym. Just put Netflix on the phone and just, do it like that.
Yeah, it's probably going to take me all summer to do, honestly.
I'll feel accomplished if I do it.
Yeah.
If I can do it by the time Ragnarok comes out, I think I'll be all right.
Oh, yeah. I think you could do it in that time. But, yeah, I've only watched... I'm almost through phase 1. All I have left is Avengers.
Okay.
But I started Agent Carter already. And I started it on Tuesday.
Okay.
So...
You're moving along.
Moving along. Anyways, back to Guardians.
Yeah, let's go back to the end credit scene. So we love the thing with the original team. Love the fact that, yes, it's a nice little callback to the original Guardians team. I love the actual credits with the dancing, and we saw Jeff Goldblum as the Grand Master.
I didn't. I missed it, and I don't know how I missed it.
He was like in one little snippet. It was like, you know how they would cut back and there's like a couple scenes.
Yeah, like I saw Howard the Duck, and I saw a couple of the other ones. But I don't know what I was doing, twiddling my thumbs. I don't know. I completely missed
because like
Goldblum.
I think like they said there's supposed to be 6 or 5 post credit scenes. I only saw 4. Okay, because we got the one with the original team. We got the one with Stanley and the Watchers, which is awesome.
That was so cool.
So Stanley, I like how he's recapping like, oh, I was a delivery man for this. Okay, so that's either one of the because he was the delivery man in the first Fantastic Four. He was a delivery man in the end of the Civil War. He's talking about all these things that he's done. So it's like, so Stanley is the same damn character.
Yeah.
And he's credited as Watcher Informant.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he's the theories are true. I think Stanley is one of the Watchers.
Kevin Feige actually confirmed that he is the same. It's the same guy, just in different, and he can time travel and all that stuff. So they've said that is accurate.
He also confirmed that Marvel and Fox share the rights to the Watcher.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, so it makes me think. I'm like, did they secretly maybe get back Fantastic Four?
Maybe.
So somebody can make a movie that's not fucking terrible.
Right. Not awful.
So yeah, we saw the one with I love the Watchers. They made them look just like the comic book, which was great.
Yeah.
We saw the thing with Aisha making Adam Warlock, who's gonna be. He's actually eventually becomes a member of the Guardians.
Right.
But I believe he is an enemy of them at first.
I think him and Aisha are going to be the bad guys in
Part 3.
Volume 3.
So that's 3 post-credit scenes.
What was the 4th one?
The 4th one is...
Oh, Groot as a teenager.
Groot? Oh, my God. Okay. I love that one.
I am Groot.
Yeah. He's like, I am not boring. He's like Peter's like, guys, you need to walk in here without stepping all over your twigs and playing that mind-numbing video game. I love it.
I loved the little floppy hair.
Yeah,
I think it was amazing.
Emo
Groot.
You know you can buy that pop vinyl now?
See, I heard that was not...
Is it fake?
I heard that they...
It's called Adolescent Groot.
I heard that they released that picture on accident, and that's not what it really looks like.
Where he's got his arms folded, and he just looks like pissed off like a teenager.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't know.
And I also kind of wonder, like, how... Like, because I thought originally, like, in the first one, only Rocket knew what he was saying. But now it seems like they all
Peter
know what he's saying. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe,
it's weird.
Maybe because he's part Celestial. I don't know.
Maybe like it expanded his mind or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Did you know that they confirmed that this is, while it's Groot, it's a whole new Groot. So the Groot that we knew that died in Guardians, the first one.
I mean, that makes sense.
He's dead. So the Groot we know now has no memories of the past. So he was raised as a baby. It's just Groot again.
Oh, that's sad.
It is. So
that is
it
actually
really puts
sad.
Groot's death in the first one in the perspective.
It makes sense because, I mean, it's a sapling. So while it's an extension of him, it is a completely different... Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. But I'm assuming he's going to be full size by the time Infinity War.
I would think for Infinity Wars he would be full size. That would make sense.
And I would hope like you get like a little bit more of a badass Groot. Now he's kind of like rebellious as a teenager. He can kind of, and you think about it, he's being raised not just by Rocket, but by Quill and by Drax and Gamora and Mantis and all them. You know, so this Groot has seen some shit.
Right.
So I want to see like badass Groot.
Yeah.
Just messing people up in Infinity War.
I'm really kind of sad though. I kind of wish we would have seen like a toddler Groot.
Yeah.
I think that would have been fun to see.
Funny.
With like terrible twos and stuff.
Oh, that would be funny.
That would have been interesting to see, but I mean, it's got to go along.
I'm cool with it though.
Yeah.
So those were the only ones we saw. So that's 4. Now, if you watch the actual the credits, names were randomly just saying "I am Groot" and they changed to whatever they are.
Yeah.
Now I've read that the number of times that that happens is another Easter egg, apparently.
Really?
I don't understand what that means. But there was not 5 post-credit scenes.
I wonder if they were considering, like, seeing Howard the Duck and seeing them dancing. Like, I wonder if they considered that a post-credit
Unless
scene.
maybe the inclusion of Jeff Goldblum, like the real quick little
right.
Easter egg, you know. Maybe.
But I wonder if he was meant to be in the movie and they cut that clip out.
Well, I think he's the brother of the collector.
Well, he's the Grand Master.
Yeah.
And for 3 days, I could not think of the name, the Grand Master.
Mm-hmm.
And I refused to look it up because I was like, no, I'm going to remember this. I'm going to figure it out. And all I could think was the collector. And I'm like, no, it's something else.
And it's funny because my wife had no idea. She's like, why is Jeff Goldblum in the credits? And
What's he doing?
I'm like, you don't understand. He's like, he's going to be in Thor. And this is leading into Thor. So, I don't know. I would have loved to see a cameo by one of the other godlike Avengers. Like, if I could see something from, I don't know, like, even if it's, like, they're traveling when they were jumping, like, the different galaxies, and you see, like, Dormammu from Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah.
You know, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I would have shit my pants.
That would have been fun.
I'm telling you, it would have been the ultimate, though. If you would have, in that same scene, they see him for, like a second. It's kind of like the whole thing when they went by the Watchers, saw Galactus or the Silver Surfer.
That would have been so fun.
How fucking cool would that be?
That would have been so cool.
I would have pooped myself.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's fine. Whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the post-credit scenes were good. I mean, they set up some stuff for Guardians 3. Not anything really leading into Infinity War. We know that they're obviously going to be in Infinity War because we've seen the nice little video segments that they gave out with, Tony Stark with Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Pratt and Tom
Let's be
Holland.
real. Robert Downey Jr. is Tony
He's
Stark.
Tony Stark. And,
Like, it's just...
yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for the next one.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Infinity Wars.
Did you like the casting of the new characters as far as like Mantis and?
Oh yeah, I thought they did really good, and it's so their makeup anymore is so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's not new, but Nebula. When I saw Karen Gillian, and I'm like, that's who plays Nebula. Wait, how'd they even do that? And so then I watched a video of how they made her. It was so badass.
Yeah, they said they made it a little easier for Drax. Like Batista did an interview where they're like, it's more of like spray on and all that, and then they do like the texture. They said it's not as involved as last time, but then Zoe Zaldana, is that I say that right?
I don't know how to say her name.
She said that it still takes her 4 hours to do makeup.
Yeah.
And it was funny because they cut to everybody, and they're like, "You must really hate Chris Pratt because he's the only one
It doesn't have to have anything.
So like, he's like, "Oh yeah," and they cut to Chris Pratt, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I love it." He's like, "I show up and they're already there. I'm in my robe, my donut, my coffee," and it's like, "Yeah, they hate me. I don't care."
I love Chris Pratt.
Do you see like the videos with him and Batista where they're drawing each other?
No.
Oh god! So this other one where it's like they're drawing each other. They're like on the other side, they're facing each other, but they can't see what they're drawing. And like Batista's actually trying to like draw real good stuff, and like Pratt is just drawing like a stick figure of boobs and all that.
Of course he is.
And then he goes, my favorite my favorite prop is Dave Batista, and he's like, he makes him like flex, and he's like doing pull-ups. He's like, "Come on, Dave, come play with me." And he's like spraying like, "Get your knives, come on, let's go play." You know,
my gosh.
You have to watch it. They're all on YouTube.
I'll have to find them.
They're hilarious. There's other ones, but you could tell that the cast, they had a lot of fun making this. And you hear like James Gunn in his interviews, and you could tell like he had a lot of fun making it. Seems like he had a little bit more freedom with this one.
Yeah.
And I've had friends that say that they weren't like too keen on the fact that it was, a little bit more humorous. But not everything needs to be dark and gritty.
Right. This isn't DC.
It's not. And it doesn't need to be that serious. We got some serious at the end,
Yeah, and I think there was enough seriousness in the last 15 minutes for the whole damn movie.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just glad. I mean, I was sad that Yondu died, but I'm so worried it was going to be a Rocket.
Devastated.
If it was going to be a Rocket, would you have been worse off if it was Rocket?
I don't know, honestly.
Who's the one you don't want to see go? Besides Groot. Because you've already seen Groot die before.
I would be sad to see Gamora go.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think Nebula's going to go in the next one.
I think she's going to be who kills Thanos.
You think so? Mm-hmm. See, I thought it'd be she's the one.
Well, she's Thanos' kid.
Well, here's the thing.
She knows.
I think that you'll see it in Infinity War where she almost gets the upper hand and Thanos makes an example out of her where it's like, look, I just killed my own daughter. What do you think I'll do to you?
Right. Maybe.
I think that's going to be the case.
Right. I mean, in the comics, she's the one that takes him down. But they might make it different in this one.
Yeah, they'll be like Spidey.
Something stupid.
I love Spidey. But yeah, we're kind of getting ahead of it. But yeah, I mean, that's really it. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say. I mean, this is the one movie, and I enjoyed every single Marvel movie I've seen. Mm-hmm. Okay? This is the one movie where I would not mind paying full price to go watch it again.
Oh, yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's not like, I'll see if it's on the Fire Stick, or I'll wait till it comes out on DVD. No, I'm like, I kind of want to make plans to go watch, even if it's just like by myself.
Right.
Like just a weirdo in a trench coat watching it. Mm-hmm. Probably not a trench coat.
Don't go in a trench coat.
Oh, okay.
It's a terrible idea.
I mean, I'll wear tube socks. That's okay.
That's fine.
But I would totally watch it by myself, and I would enjoy it just as much. So that's my thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Before, like, the first Guardians was my favorite that came out. I might have to watch this one a couple more times before I can really decide if this one takes the cake over that one. Right now it does because it's so fresh in my mind and it's the brand new one.
And that's how it's going to be, you know.
So,
but I mean, I've given it a week to set in, and it's like I'm still just thinking about the movie.
Over the moon over it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, I want to go see it again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I saw, like, Civil War, which was excellent, I wasn't like, I got to see this again next week.
Yeah, like, I saw Civil War, and then I literally did not see it again until it was out on DVD.
Yeah, so, I mean, and that's not a knock against it. That's just showing how much this new Guardians movie is. You know, how great it is, you know. It earned an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is great because Rotten Tomatoes shits all over everything.
Yeah, it does.
They earned a 90-something% on Rotten Tomatoes for fan approval.
That's awesome.
So it's definitely good. It's definitely not bad at all. So I am really anticipating the next installments. We got Spidey in a couple months. There goes my phone, and then we got Thor coming out. So
which one? Okay, real quick. Which one are you more excited for, Thor or the Spider-Man?
Oh, Spidey.
Really?
Spidey.
Okay.
I'm a big, have you seen my office?
Yeah. Okay. Never
Spidey.
mind.
I'm a Spidey guy. I've always been. I hope that it's. I'm probably one of the few guys that didn't mind the other Spider-Man movies. The only one I didn't like is Spider-Man 3 because it broke my heart because I bought tickets in advance because Spider-Man 2 was so great and I've always loved Spider-Man as a kid. And I went opening night, like 7 o'clock, the busiest fucking time you can go to see a movie, and it sucked.
It was a shit show.
And it's like, okay, I enjoy the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. I am heartbroken the fact that it left so much open and it was so obviously setting up sequels that we will never know.
Right.
So that's something that I'm like, ugh. And then also poor Paul Giamatti. Like, seriously.
Right. But I wonder if, well, no, probably not.
They're not going to cross him.
No.
They can't.
Well, I was going to say, maybe Marvel might go down that path that...
Well, I think they are. I mean, we already got the Vulture, and we're getting Shocker in this one.
Right. Okay.
But I liked how...
Maybe they'll finish what was started.
That should be we should totally do that. We should do an episode where it's like movies, like unresolved stories.
We could do that.
We should do that. All right. You have anything else before we wrap up?
No.
Me neither. Guys, as always, you can check us out right here on Spreaker at Spreaker.com/user/hardcore-geek. Check out our show, Hardcore Geek Podcast. We have a monthly show, Hardcore Geek Wrestling. We do that every pay-per-view, every WWE pay-per-view. We'll talk about it after. But, for the meat and potatoes, we're right here at Hardcore Geek Podcast. We're also on iTunes for past episodes, Facebook, Twitter, and all that fun stuff. Our website is hardcoregeekcast.com. We're on the interwebs as far as Instagram and all that fun stuff. So, for myself, I want to say thank you for listening. Michelle, take us out.
Thank you.
Sing us off.
Oh, no, I'm not singing.
She's not singing.
I'll dance like Baby Groot.
Nobody can see that.
I know.
All right. Good night.
Bye.